Hi guys, today we're looking at the Mahi Mahi 11-foot kayak. Today I'm going to show you how to change the rudder system from a handheld to a foot pedal operated system. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is obviously create yourself a little bit of even level space to work with, and obviously get the two most important things: a star screwdriver or a Phillips, and a 10mm socket wrench would help. Once your bungee cording area is clear, you need to actually undo all four of these little star screws over here to get accessibility to the actual spindle underneath. Once the four screws have been released, place the cap gently down on the kayak so as to not lose any of the four screws. We have a rubber seal that goes inside, also keep that nice and safe. There are four lines inside that are connected to the spindle. We're going to take the 10mm socket, remove the bolt, and release the spindle so we can work better on the rudder system. Hold the spindle with two fingers, gently tug down, and release the rudder from the very bottom of the system. Once the spindle is removed, you can gently see that there are four lines moving forward. We, for today's exercise, are going to connect the exterior, which will be the foot pedal system. Carefully knot the system, especially interior cables, so that you do not lose the cables inside the deck. With the exteriors in place, if you can see from here, you can gently tug from side to side, and you can see that there's a nice movement on the pedals. Taking the spindle and placing in your left hand, you'll see just below the screw point is a small little interior hole here. This hole goes straight through the spindle. Take the cable on the left hand side and gently but surely feed it through the small hole. Once it comes through, wrap it around your screw, possibly loosen a bit if you need to. Wrap around the screw and give it a small little tighten. Take the second line, and this line, as you can see from the very bottom here, it has to feed itself all the way through and go all the way to the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed it like this, and once in place, tighten up. The next trick would be now obviously to have a look and see, are the lines picking up the cables? Yes, they are picking up nice and tightly. So we're now going to pull this in nice and tight. Once the spindle is in place, take your rudder and gently insert from the bottom, securing the spindle. Ensure, if you look at the very bottom there's an even edge over here that you need to place on the even edge of the rudder over here. Okay, once the spindle is in place, we're going to now tighten up our lines and ensure our lines are reacting to the pedals in front. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the line on the left hand side. We're going to now tighten it up. The idea simply is to create a nice tortoise in the front to keep the pedal nice and upright, so when we reattach, you have better reaction from the actual pedal system underneath. Just going to loosen the screw just slightly over here. Put the cabling around the screw, put it around twice, that way you can ensure a tighter fit. And then once it's in place, the whole time obviously keeping the keel in a straight position, tighten up nice and tight. And your one side is definitely secured. You can see straight away that as I let go of the rudder, it's pulling to one side. You'll watch the spindle will turn. It's only because the one side is being connected, the other side is not being connected. So now we're going to work on the outside. Remember, the right side of the spindle works for the left hand side, the left side of the spindle works for the right hand side line. Bring it nice and tight, wrap it around, loosen the spindle, screw a couple of times, easier to work with that way. Wrap it around once, wrap it around twice, and then tighten up. The entire time I'm holding the rudder in a straight line with my knees. Once this is done, you'll see the rudder stops moving, there's no movement anymore, and now you can see clearly how the lines are pulling side to side as such. The last thing to do now is to put the lid on, secure the four screws, first put it on the gasket, rubberized gasket, we're going to put that in place really. We need to make sure that all our lines are nice and neat on the inside. So the idea would be very, very simply, roll them up slightly like this, and position them so they can place themselves nice and comfortably on the spindle roof. Place the little rubberized gasket back in place. Getting over the screws nice and gently. Now, very importantly, with regards to the actual rudder, you see one side has got a lip, one side has got no lip. The side with the lip must always be at the back. The idea is simply that your cabling will be in the front, so therefore the cabling has got room to move over here. If you go the other way around, your cabling is going to get caught over here, and unfortunately, it will make it that the actual rudder system won't turn so easily. So we're going to put all the cabling to the front of the spindle. Once the lid is nice and secure in place, you'll find you have lovely movement, and the pedals will move in front nice and clearly as such.